Hello, and welcome to the latest episode of the Small Triumph Sports Library and Archives. First, I hate to have such an early video that fully demonstrates how ignorant or dense I can be.
Hey,
But
Dad, you really can be dumb sometimes. Remember that one time that you,
whoa, 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 whoa! Okay, sorry about that. A clear case of mistaken identity.
Whatever, Dad.
So, as I was saying, I hate to seem rather ignorant or dense, but I can explain. So this episode is about this Triumph Factory tool, part number 132368. This tool was used extensively by Triumph across the range after the very late 1960s for reasons you may know, but that I'm going to get into over the course of this video. I was long unaware of this tool, in part because, well, as is typical, my Spitfire came to me without a complete factory toolkit. In fact, this is what I found in my trunk or boot. I think most, definitely not all, but most cars pass from owner to owner with the jack and jack handle, but most of the other tools seem to get lost, like 10 millimeter sockets in the garage or socks in the dryer. You can see my Spitfire came to me with the jack and jack handle, tube wrench or tube spanner, and the plastic tool bag that was original for the late Spitfires. Pretty fortunate to have that tube wrench. Actually, I'm surprised that wasn't lost somewhere along the way. So I was fortunate from that standpoint. It was only when I started my GT6 project and decided to strive for as much originality as possible that I began to devote time to researching the various tools supplied by Triumph in their cars. And my GT6 came to me with only the jack and the jack handle, nothing more. So after spending some time with factory catalogs, with John Thomason's Guide to Originality and other books, and after doing some internet research, I went out and collected the tools that I think my GT6 would have come with. So I ended up with this collection of tools here. All of those are original except for that is a reproduction tool bag, and that's not the original Triumph feeler gauges. That is a roughly period correct Champion spark plug tool. So that's what I ended up collecting. However, I can't be sure that that's what the car would have come with. I'm not sure there was much consistency with how toolkits were assembled at the factory, and the factory catalogs feature caveats for different markets. So this is my GT6 factory parts catalog. It's original. It was printed in late 1968, maybe 1969. And you can see the tool in question here listed in the section on tools. There it is right there, underlined 132368 sparking plug spanner, and you can see there in the right margin it says not required USA. That simply indicates there was some wiggle room in terms of whether it would have been included or not in the GT6 toolkit in 1968, 1969. There are quite a few original US-based owners who report the tool being supplied with their cars. Now, here is an image from the 1981 Spitfire 1500 catalog, which covers the cars from 1975 on. You can see the tool in question there. I've circled it in red. And in the parts list of that catalog, you can see it listed there. I've underlined it. It is listed as a sparking plug special spanner. And the special part is what this video is about. Of course, again, you may very well be keenly aware of what is quote unquote special about this tool. But as I said, the tool was widely used across the range by Triumph. So it was included in toolkits for numerous cars. So here's the part that makes me seem a little bit ridiculous. As I've noted previously, I've had my Spitfire for over 30 years. And every time I've had to do any kind of maintenance that involves pulling the spark plugs, I've gone to work and I've realized that I cannot get to the number one spark plug. The alternator is in the way. And normal spark plug socket will not fit in there. And so I've always slackened the adjuster nut and moved the alternator so that I can get that number one spark plug out. Every time when I'm finished with the job, I think there's got to be a better way. I need to look into it. That seemed to take a fair bit of extra time, but I always forget. And so the next time I come to the job, I'm confronted with something that I should have remembered, and I end up having to do it the same old way by moving the alternator. Recently, though, this past fall, I was looking at the valves on the Spitfire, and once again, I went to remove the spark plugs and suddenly remembered that I can't get to that number one spark plug with a regular spark plug socket. And I started thinking, I don't really want to have to take this, extra step. It shouldn't be necessary. And then I remembered that I had collected these GT6 tools, and that among them I had this special spark plug tool. And this is the first time that I really started to put two and two together about what this tool is for. So I had that aha moment, which probably should have come a lot earlier, but I had that aha moment. So I went into my GT6 tool collection and tried it out. So you go in, you actually have to maneuver it in from up high, or at least I have to when I do it. But as you can see from the images here, you actually can just get it in that space between the alternator and the cylinder head, and voila, you can actually get it on that number one spark plug, and you can remove the number one spark plug without moving the alternator. So this was actually quite a revelation to me. I will note, though, that even though the tool fits in there, you can see from this image that it's actually still quite tight overall. Now, there may be someone watching this video. Actually, I could stop there. There may be someone watching this video. But there may be someone watching this video who is saying, all I got to do is get on Amazon and buy a certain thin-walled spark plug socket and a swivel adapter, and it only costs like $5, and then you can do the job easily. Something like that may very well be true. I don't know. I haven't researched it. And of course, the purpose of this video is not really to talk about how to remove the spark plug that is behind the alternator. The purpose of this video is to talk about this Triumph factory tool, and just, explain it in case other people have not encountered the tool or may not see it and automatically understand why it's such a useful tool. The one drawback to the factory tool is if you're really anal and you like to torque everything down to spec, you can't really do that with this particular tool. But I generally, at some point years ago, started torquing down pretty much anything with crush washers by feel. And that's largely because I torqued a lot of bolts with copper crush washers down to spec for cooling systems, and I would start the engine and coolant would be pouring everywhere. So I learned that a lot of times the torque readings on my torque wrenches were, not, if I was torquing the bolt down to spec, it wasn't actually crushing the crush washer. Could have to do with the quality of my torque wrenches or other factors, including operator error as well. But I'm careful, but I tend to cinch those things down by feel, anything with like a crush washer on it. Now, I've not really seen this tool for sale in the US very much, if at all, over the last several years. I'm sure there's some out there. I'm sure if you ask the right person, you might be able to find one and buy it. But I don't see them for sale online from US-based sellers much. They do pop up with some regularity with UK sellers on eBay. And if you can find one, it'll usually set you back about $50 or so. I have two now, after I realized how useful the tool was and the fact that it is an original tool. I bought a second one to put in my Spitfire toolkit in the trunk of my car. And I think the first one I bought, I paid 34 pounds for, and the second one I paid 15 pounds for. And then it costs, roughly 15 to 20 pounds in shipping to get it over here. But anyway, it's a cool tool. There may be some other ways to do the job. In fact, I'm sure there are. But this is a neat tool, and it is an original factory tool. So hopefully that is interesting and helpful to someone out there, even though I had to kind of expose how fairly dense I can be in terms of just not being able to kind of see and recognize the purpose of that tool. Thanks for watching. If you find this kind of thing interesting, I hope that you'll consider subscribing. I should be back with another video in about a week. Of course, I said that last time, and we're stretching out to 10-11 days since the last video I posted, but I think I should be able to get another video up soon. So thank you for watching.